Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 is a bloody chaotic mayhem of pure fun and carnage that reminded me a lot like Gears of War, down to the gameplay, weapons, and main character. It was a lot of fun and the game is so f***ing amazing, and here's my review on it. Like I stated above, the gameplay was a complete massacre of unadulterated carnage and bloodshed that heavily reminded me of Gears of War. The way I was shredding through enemies and blowing their f***ing heads off was the definition of a bloody f***ing reckoning. Woo! I was f***ing them up and having the time of my life. The things I loved most about the gameplay would be the regaining health through damaging enemies. It reminded me so much of Lies of P with the whole guard regain system that my first impression of the game so far was a positive one. Then we have the brutal and devastating executes and instant kills. Woo! Those instant kills and executes were a delight to see with how bloody and hardcore they were to watch. Just catching a small Tyrannid in the air and slamming them down to the ground, creating a shockwave of their own blood splatter that also happens to damage surrounding enemies was a crazy, brutal touch that I love to see. And shredding through enemies with the chain sword was again absolutely brutal. And this is why I said the game reminded me of Gears of War. Because just like in GOW, you can also shred enemies to bits with the Lancer rifle that comes with a saw attached to it. But on the topic of the chainsword, I also really liked the area of effects stomp move that Titus does after a few light combos land. It makes space for you, but also devastating enough to kill all Tyrannids before and around you. And speaking about Titus, he is so like Marcus Fenix. In terms of how badass they both are, they both take no follow orders and cause destruction in their wakes. God damn are they badasses.
What is your craft?
My craft is death.
What is your pledge?
My pledge is eternal service.
The campaign was pretty short. It's only 9 missions long, and each mission takes about an hour to an hour and 30 minutes to complete. With that said, the story was pretty okay. It wasn't boring, nor was it bad. It actually made me want to play Warhammer 1 to figure out Titus's past, because throughout the game, many characters make references to Titus's betrayal and that he has hidden intentions. And I want to figure out what the hell they're talking about, especially Chaplain, because he does not with Titus at all.
You have won the trust of your brothers and of the chapter master. But know this, Titus. The stain of suspicion never completely fades. I will be watching you.
Now, on to the other selling point besides the bloody gameplay, the multiplayer. The multiplayer in Warhammer 2 was pretty fun. You can either play between 3 modes with friends or other online players. Either you can play through the campaign together, special operation missions, which actually contain spoilers for the campaign story if you haven't completed it already. So, if you care about spoilers, I'd finish the campaign before tackling special operation missions. And the final game mode is PvP. There are 3 game types you can play in PvP. They are Seized Ground, Capture and Control, and Annihilation. Seized Ground is capturing 3 control points around the map. Capture and Control is the same as Seized Ground, but instead of 3 capture points, there's only 1. And that 1 capture point will occasionally change locations after a set amount of time has passed. And Annihilation is your standard team deathmatch. Overall, all the game modes in PvP were fun, so jump on in and get to slaying. And when you're playing in either special operations or in PvP, you can choose between 6 classes. You can either be the tactical class, which is a class that specializes in finding enemies but also weakening them to make them easier to kill. The assault class, if you want to dive bomb the shit out of enemies and create a disturbance on the field. The Vanguard class that has a kick that can stun enemies for a brief amount of time, giving you or your team time to secure a kill. The Bullard class is the healing class that specializes in healing the team's armor. The Sniper class that is the ghost behind enemy lines, allowing them to turn invisible and get a kill from the shadows. And the final class is the Heavy class, which is the other tank of the game that is just gunning enemies down with a minigun, but also comes with a shield, blocking bullets fired at him. So, if you're a teammate, make sure to get behind the Heavy when in danger. It could save your life. And each class comes with a perk talent tree you can put points into that will make your preferred class an absolute problem to deal with. My favorite class was the Vanguard class because of the 2 stun kicks you get, which can create an opening for you or your teammates to capitalize on and secure a kill. And that's my review on Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. I definitely recommend this game simply for the fact that the carnage and bloodshed are off the charts, brutal, and may play into your enjoyment of the game, especially since you can play campaign or the other game modes with friends. But I also don't think the game is worth $100. Maybe about $60. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any recommendations on what game I should review next, let me know in the comments down below. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.